Then, on May 10, 1940, German troops stormed into France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Denmark and Norway had already fallen. British troops in France were retreating. Sergeant Pexton fought with the Durham Light Infantry.
7 a.m. Germans came from nowhere. Proper surprised us. Got down to it in the open and fought for all we knew. Getting wiped out this time, all right. He's sending everything he has at us.
French infantryman Gustave Folchet was a farmer's son from the Languedoc.
We marched for some time across the hills. We see vehicles from time to time, supply wagons, artillery trucks that have been bombed. Some disemboweled horses here and there, badly hit. Some are not yet dead and let out plaintive groans as we pass by.
The Blitzkrieg consumed Europe. In his diary, 22-year-old German Hans Parels wrote,
"In the morning we searched houses. The population here is very afraid of us barbarians. A woman was throwing herself at my feet, imploring me not to kill her children. I told her in my broken French that we were only looking for weapons. But she didn't believe me. She cried and begged and cried.
As he retreated, Gustave Folchet witnessed the fall of France.
The civilians put together their meager belongings. It is sad, and it tears me apart. Poor people, to abandon their houses, their cattle and poultry, and everything which seemed to be prospering, and gave them their pleasure in life. The children look wide-eyed, not yet understanding everything that is happening. The day draws to an end, and all the time the refugees pass by in every type of transport.
It wasn't long before Folchet was captured.
We were prisoners now, and a new life was going to start. For us, the war was over. Around midday, they made us get into threes and form a column and walk forward down the road. The march was very difficult. Suddenly we remembered that we hadn't eaten for a very long time. If only we could have had something to drink, but it was impossible.
The British Expeditionary Force, with their French allies, are fighting a desperate battle in the northern zone of the Western Front. They have withdrawn some miles towards the coast, a movement which has been carried out
On May 20th, Sergeant Pexton was also taken prisoner.
The Allied forces have not lost cohesion, and their morale is high.
Just about fed up with everything. Wouldn't take much for me to make a break for it. Be a quick way out anyway. So long as he shot straight away. Suppose I mustn't think that way and just carry on. It can't last forever.
1940, the Allies in France were beaten. 300,000 exhausted soldiers had crowded onto the beach at Dunkirk. Among them was Captain Bell MacDonald.
We sat on the beach. Organization there appeared to be none. My nerves were in pieces. We were constantly bombed. The harbour caught it, smoke and flame shot heavenwards. The smoke hanging in a huge black pool over the town. Oh, the terror of those hours on the beach. Lying flat on the sand, listening to the shriek of bombers and crack of explosives. I shall never forget those 15 minutes while we loaded. It was an eternity. But at last, we drew away. The lines were cut, the ladders left, so with a huge bow wave we swept onwards to Dover.
What General Weygand has called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of Christian civilization. Upon it depends...
As Britain stood alone, Nellie Carver and Joan Wildish recorded the mood.
And our empire.
17th of June. France has asked for an armistice. So now what? The predominant feeling is one of relief.
Hitler knows that he will have to break us in this island or lose the war.
Now we know where we are. I'm absolutely sure we can do better if we have nobody with us. They've let us down time and time again. Now we can really get on with the job. Suppose we should be besieged on our little island. I feel quite light-hearted after so much worry.
Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty.
Now we have to put Mr. Churchill's great speech into action. Now the wolf really is at England's door, and it's showing its nasty swastikas.
But if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Cometh the hour, cometh Churchill. This very different Churchill was observed by his secretary, John Colville.
Went up to the PM's bedroom at about 10 o'clock. He was lying in bed, in a red dressing gown, smoking a cigar and dictating to Mrs. Hill, who sat with a typewriter at the foot of the bed. His black cat, Nelson, sprawled, and every now and then Winston would gaze at it affectionately and say, "Cat, darling."
This was a leader whose every action symbolized the British spirit.
The PM will give the V sign with 2 fingers, in spite of the representations repeatedly made to him that this gesture has quite another significance.